Hey everybody, today I wanted to talk to you about the CNC Shark and an issue that I was having that we finally figured out, and I'm just hoping to share this in case anyone else is having this problem because it caused me a lot of frustration and a lot of time loss and actually a lot of wasted wood and projects and things. So I wanted to share with you what was happening and what I found. So I used the Shark, as you see here, set up with the spindle, the water-cooled spindle, the factory dust boot, dust collection, whatever. And I cut a lot of things like this. And what it is it's just a little tray for storing pens or displaying pens. And it has these little pocket cutouts. Now, what was happening was I was getting, in these pockets, I was getting a weird thing happening in the pocket. I was getting a high side where the pocket would actually ramp up, and then opposite I was getting another ramp. So instead of being a nice flat pocket, I was getting on the outside edges two high spots. And I went to Next Wave, I talked to them, they ran my program, it didn't do it, I sent it to somebody else, it didn't do it. So I knew it had to be my machine and I couldn't figure out what it was. And one thing I've always complained about with this machine is I hate the flex in the carriage here on the Z. To me, this should be rock solid, and I'm going to try to remedy that in the near future, but I hate this flex. So I was assuming that it was just that, it was just causing that to lift and move and whatever. And it partially was. And what I figured out after a couple of trials and errors here and at a friend's with the same machine was the dust boot was causing it, which doesn't seem like that is the case, but what I figured out was my problem would happen as my cut was deeper and deeper. So on the upper cut, it very rarely happened, or if it did, it was very mild and I could even sand it out. But the deeper it got, and this is a stair-step design, I would get more and more of this, so it was amplifying. And what I figured out was happening was, as the boot would get buried into the project, it would be pushing on it, and this is such a tight little thing that it would push down, and the bristles are so stiff that it would definitely flex my carriage here. It would make its pass, it would round the corner, and as it came back, the boot would actually cause it to ramp. So the boot was stiff enough that it would ramp like this. That in combination with the flex was giving me those highs and lows. So when I took the boot off and ran it, I didn't have that at all. I had a fairly clean cut. Now, of course, I still have some flex in here, so when it's plunging, that's another story altogether. But for my problem, it was caused by the boot. Now, I've talked to the guys at Next Wave. They're working on a new boot that has a better bristle. I don't know if it's softer, shorter, what it is, but this was just too stiff. So hopefully they can come up with that. So if you're having a problem like that, and you're cutting tight small pockets with this boot, it could be causing you some issue. Hope that helps anybody out there with the Next Wave CNC Shark that's running this boot. If it does, or if you have any other comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say if you're using one of these. But since I've been not running the boot, I have two things happening. One, I have a huge mess in my shop, so I'm really not happy about that. But I am getting better results, so that definitely was the problem.